Kia ora koutou katoa, nau mai hara mai ki te ao Hākinakina, your sports show right here on your Tribal Pulse, te kore mako o Taranaki, 94.8 FM and 98.4 FM. Well, he's as passionate as they come when it comes to Poitūkohu Māori, that's Māori Basketball, and he's helped guide our Taranaki teams at Nationals for many years now and has won a few medals along the way. It is awesome to have him on our show, and we can't wait to hear of his journey. Tiare Taamaru, nau mai hara mai.
Kia ora, thank you for having me.
Hey, awesome to have you on the show, bro. Looking forward to having a kōrero with you, especially about the recent national tournament and about your journey as well. But before we get started, ko wai koe no e koe, just a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
So, ko Taranaki te maunga, ko Taranaki, ko Ngāruhine, ko Ngāti Maru, ko Tiateawa, Ngā Iwi, ko Ngāti Haupoto, rawa ko Ngāti Tū, Ngā Hapu, ko Kura Haupo te waka, ko te pōtaka, rawa ko Waiokura, Ngā Marae, ko Rautini te awa, no Taranaki au, e noho ana au ki te awa kairangi, ko Tiare Taamaru, tōku ingoa. So.
Tēnā koe, te wanaunga. Heaps of, hey, that's the beauty of Pepe and getting to know one another, all those connections. So, yeah. Lovely to get to know you a bit more, bro. Now, I know you're very passionate about basketball, but are there any other sports that you're into or have a deep affection or passion for?
Well, luckily, growing up in a small town, Taranaki and Rahotu, I tried everything. So netball, rugby, cricket, but basketball just kind of stuck and has just been the main sport for me, for my life.
Nice. Now, I know on the coast there, in particular out there in Opunake, that there's quite a strong basketball community on the coast there, isn't it? And I know this because when I try to organise training nights for my league boys, I can't seem to find a training night because everyone's playing basketball every night. So that must have been really awesome for you as a young fella down the coast with a really strong community of basketball. Would that have helped with your passion, you think?
Definitely. Just being involved from a young age. Like I started playing at 8 and it's huge. Out there, especially moving away and kind of seeing how everyone else does basketball in Wellington compared to home, it's big. And then I went to Opunake High School and it just continued. So yeah, I've been really lucky in that regard.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about your because I understand you're doing a bit of coaching in that now, but what about your playing career? So you're at Opunake High School. Did you carry on into some club basketball and stuff like that when you moved down to Wellington?
So yeah, was really lucky. Went to Opunake, and we did quite well in the 2012, 2016 kind of. That's when I was at school. I did reps as well and was a part of a Māori team that went to a Native American tournament in 2017, which was really cool. And then I've just been kind of playing social basketball here in Te Awa Kairangi. For me, the next step's just coaching. That's become more of my passion. I prefer to stand on the side rather than running up and down the court nowadays.
That's awesome. Hey, you mentioned that trip over to America. Tell us a bit more about that and what is that kaupapa? And like I've heard it a couple of times, there's another young boy, Kobe that went over there, I think, as well. And he spoke of that tournament as well. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so through the Māori National Basketball Tournament, you make connections, you meet some cool people from all over through basketball. And so my brother and I were lucky enough in 2017 through the tournament to have met people taking a Māori team to a Native American tournament in Phoenix, Arizona, which was huge at the time for us. And I think the tournament's been going for about 10 years where we've been taking Māori teams. Last year we had 2 of our rangatahi from Taranaki go, 2 amazing young women, and the year before we had 2 other rangatahi go represent as well at the same tournament. So it's yeah, it's really awesome. It's a cultural exchange as much as playing basketball and really competing. And it's just a huge emphasis on native empowerment and growth through basketball.
That's really amazing, eh? Great to see our First Nations peoples come together, through sport. But what is it about basketball that's so special, you think? What is it that that you love about the sport, and what is it that attracts Māori to the sport?
I think for me, why I've always been so kind of passionate about it is the close proximity to the game. Even if you're not on the court, you kind of feel the emotions from the crowd and your bench, and it's such a fast-paced game. There's a lot of quick decisions that you have to make all the time that will affect a play, that will affect offense and defense, and just that speed has been a huge kind of draw for me as to why I've loved it for so long. And I think for Māori, it just gives us a lot of opportunities, as do other sports. But the growth has been huge, I feel, especially over the last 5 years. There's opportunities to play professionally in Aotearoa and Ahitereiria, and for our young people to go overseas through college or further education while playing basketball. So I think that might be a big part of it as well.
That's awesome. Now you recently returned from the Poitūkohu Māori or Aotearoa, the Māori Basketball Nationals. What was your involvement at the tournament, and what teams were you representing?
Yeah, so I was part of Poitūkohu Māori or Taranaki, or Taranaki Māori Basketball as a coach. I had the under-16 Tama team and the under-20s Wahine team this year. So my boys, they came 6th, and then our Wahine team came 3rd.
That's some really good results there, eh? Because I heard there was some big numbers at the tournament, like 400 teams. Is that right? Something like that?
Yeah. So 400 plus, I think, which is amazing to think that I've been involved since the first year that we took teams in 2014 as a player, and just seeing it grow from then. I think there would have been 100 or so teams to 400 now. Is huge, and it's such we have under 8s all the way up to Kaumātua teams. So seeing the different levels of the game as well that's being played is really awesome.
I know firsthand I'm involved with Māori Rugby League, and I've seen the same growth within Māori Rugby League, and so it's great to see the same things happening with Māori basketball. What do you think is the point of difference, with those Māori tournaments compared to your kind of stock standard regional representative tournaments? What's the point of difference?
I think it's that Māori culture is just as important as the game at these tournaments, and that especially for us, our kaupapa is that rangatahi Māori living and from Taranaki are able to play their sport without the kind of restrictions that can come from mainstream clubs and systems. And so, you're not having to separate who you are with the game you love, because some mainstream systems, I feel, players can be expendable and they can't bring their whole selves. And so that's a huge goal for us, is that we just give our rangatahi the space to be who they are and to play the game that they want to play. Especially for those older ages, those under 20s, they know the game, they know what they want to be doing. It's just kind of being there to support them and help kind of direct where they're going with their game. And it's been wicked. And seeing, your culture, you see it's Māori led and driven. So our reo was right there from all the young ages all the way through. And there's it just kind of feels safe in a different way that I haven't experienced from other tournaments.
Tika te kōrero. I love that kōrero. You're so on point with that. It's definitely unique, and it's a favorite, favorite on the calendar each year, I'm sure. So speaking of coaching, so I know you did a bit of coaching there. How did this transition happen from playing to coaching, and what's the difference between the two that you really enjoy?
Yeah, so I started coaching when I was young. So when I was still at school, year 10 and year 13, I'd help at my old primary school. It was kind of my cousins were coming through, so I helped coach their year 5 and 6 teams. And then through Māori Basketball, kept coaching and still coach through in Wellington. But I think I just wanted to stay a part of the game, and I'm passionate about working with rangatahi to help them grow and be amazing people and kind of see themselves in the world. So being able to be a role model, being able to pass on knowledge that I've been so lucky to have through the coaches that I've got or had in the day, and the experiences that I've had, just sharing that because it's, it was given to me. So why not pass it on? Why not share it?
Love it. Love that. Giving back to the sport that you love, and hey, all those young ones coming through. That's why we do what we do, and it's awesome to see you doing that as well. Tiare, now, have you had much success as a coach? And if so, what are some of the accolades, you and your teams have achieved? I did hear that you may have won a few medals along the way.
Yeah, luckily I've coached some amazing young people. So we've had, especially I've had this core group for a little while. We've won second place for under 15 girls in 2021. We won our grade for under 15s 2023, but then the under 17s also came third that year as well. Then last year, the under 17 girls, they won their premiership grade. So those are all Māori Basketball. And then through Basketball Hutt Valley, through the reps kind of system down here in Te Awakairangi, my under 14 B girls team won their central regional tournament as well. So I think I've just been really lucky to have amazing players come through and just putting a good system around them that help them flourish more than my actual coaching skills. But yeah, I've been able to tally up some medals.
Being very modest, but I'm sure, hey, that leadership as a coach is really important. So I'm sure you got the magic touch with the team. Now, it's so amazing to know that you travel a long way too. Like you travel to Taranaki to support teams, even though you live down in Te Wanganui Atara. This just shows how deeply passionate you are. What is it that brings you home? What makes you want to come home and represent your maunga and your people?
It's always good to come home and have the fresh air kind of hit you and to see our maunga. But also, there's nowhere else I'd rather coach in terms of Māori young people. There's enough iwi down here as well and enough leaders here that know their community and are a bit closer to their community that can do that. I definitely have to support, but yeah, there's nothing like coming home and being able to see the game grow at home. A lot of times it's so I'll coach one of the kids and then their younger siblings coming up. So it's that kind of continuity with whānau as well that I really enjoy. So yeah, there's no place like home really. Nowhere else I'd rather come back to coach.
Well, we love having you come home to help our rangatahi get away to those special tournaments, Tiare. So keep up the good work. Is there if there's some of our listeners at home that would like to get their kids or their tamariki, their mokopuna into Māori basketball, how can they go about that?
So we have probably contact us through our email address. So that is Poitūkohu Māori Taranaki @gmail.com. Otherwise, through the Māori Basketball website, there's contact information for our coordinator Janine, and that links to the email as well. That's the easiest way. Otherwise, just connecting with whānau that have been a part of us as well. They'll give you the know-how and be able to link you in.
Well, a huge thank you to you, Tiare, for your passion and commitment to Poitūkohu Māori, your maunga and your community. So good to know we have an amazing, young role model coming through that is so dedicated to their sport. So we thank you for coming on the show, and we look forward to seeing you on your journey within Māori basketball, and look forward to catching up with you again sometime soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.